Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has been out for about a week now, and I'm really having a lot of fun with it. The initial impression was not very good with the server crash, but things have improved greatly in this last week, and honestly, I am not seeing any of the problems that most people have reported online. It's been performing really well for me. Having a good system and a good internet connection I think is key, but that's kind of always the way it's been for flight sims. Although I think with this program it's more important to have a good internet connection because I've been seeing reports of users online getting really good performance with lower end systems. We've seen a wide variety of performance issues, but I really feel that most of them are related to internet speed and connection. It wasn't designed just to run on one spec system. It's not a AAA console game, it's a flight simulator. It's always been difficult to get the most performance out of flight simulators because they're very demanding. You're asking a lot of your system. Come along with me. I primarily focus on helicopters in this sim. I took a flight in the Robinson R66 earlier, so today I'm taking a look at the Airbus H225 from Hype Performance Group. Man, the grass and vegetation moving in the wash is one of my favorite new things about this sim. Now, this is not a base game default aircraft, but it is a default aircraft that comes with the Premium Deluxe version of the game. Microsoft have said that some of these aircraft will be, or the aircraft in the Deluxe or the Premium Deluxe version, will be available for sale in the marketplace, but as of yet, they're only available if you purchase the different levels of the game. So right now, I like to support the developers in their endeavors, so I purchased the Premium Deluxe version of the game, and I plan on using most of the aircraft associated with it. If you are on Discord, you can go over to the developers Discord and you can see some of the comments that they've made. They're aware that everything is not fully functional. There was kind of a rush to get Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 out the door. Not sure if it was a marketing decision or what, but not everything is polished. That's okay. That's also the nature of flight simulators. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, as we're now coming to know it, did not launch in the best state either. VR wasn't even available at the beginning of that sim. It was really buggy. It did not perform well. Aside from the server crash on day one, 2024 is actually, I would say, having a much smoother launch than 2020. Anyways, back to my thoughts on the H225, or Super Puma as it was known before Airbus took over. It's excellent. The modeling is with HPG standards, so HPG and Coronado probably produced some of the best looking models and textures for flight sim, period. They look so real. And the H225 does not disappoint. It is detailed everywhere you look at it. Every switch, dial, rivet, latch, you name it. So they haven't fully fleshed out all of the panels and being able to open everything and do pre-flight walkarounds, but you can open the doors and explore the helicopter, and it looks amazing. So again, back to their Discord, they have talked about some of the features that they know are missing. Some of the autopilot features are not implemented yet. Some of the stability features are not implemented yet. And they're aware of it, and they are working on it, and they have been active on their Discord forums in discussing some of these issues with users. Again, I've been flight simming for over 25 years, so this is nothing new to me. I understand it, and I'm okay with things taking a little bit of time to get where they need to be. I've waited for a long time for a lot of things in flight sim. The progression that we're having in the technology as it advances right now is very good. We're pretty spoiled at the moment with what's available in flight sim. Another thing that I'm working on that you could see at the beginning of this video is learning how to use the replay feature and work around some of the bugs that are present currently with the user interface and menu system inside Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and just operating the sim and getting used to the new menus and the new interface. I know a lot of users have reported that they're not very happy with the control system interface and setting up bindings, but I actually think it's excellent. I'm super happy with it compared to the old version in 2020. You can get nano down to the specific aircraft and it retains the settings that you put in for that aircraft, so you don't have to set up multiple control files or profiles and switch them when you start flights. You can set a profile that you've created for a specific aircraft, and when you load that aircraft, it loads that profile, and once you've set it up, you don't have to do anything. So it may take you a minute or two longer at the beginning, but it saves you time overall in the long run with your sim. Because once it's set, you really don't have to do anything further. Just load that aircraft and it's good to go. The 225 is flying really nicely. I like it a lot. It feels like a heavy, larger helicopter. It's a little more sensitive in the pitch axis on the cyclic than it is in the roll axis. I'll probably make note of that on the Discord and see. I've never flown a real one, so I don't know if that's the case. So that might be correct. I'm not sure at this point. And this area that I'm flying is West Palm Beach. I flew out of West Palm Beach Airport, and this is what we've come to call a photogrammetry area in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And we'll just kind of discuss the scenery a little bit and what's actually available, because a lot of people have been talking about it, and I don't think fully understand what is and isn't available as far as flight sims are concerned. Microsoft Flight Simulator uses two types of scenery. They have what's called TIN. TIN is an acronym that stands for Triangular Irregulated Network, and there's multiple ways of collecting and processing that data. It comes from our GIS database, which is Geographical Information Systems, which we use for survey and construction. We've come a long way from using oxen and chains. There's multiple ways of collecting TIN data, and the quality isn't always the same. We've come to call it photogrammetry in the sim, but photogrammetry is actually a method of using either satellite or ortho photos overlapping in order to extrapolate elevation data from a 2D image. It's a little bit different than how other TIN can be captured, either using traditional survey methods with a person with like an instrument looking through it and a rod on the other end, or LiDAR with an aircraft flying over. LiDAR is the most recent technology and produces the best data. But there's varying qualities of this data available, and usually once an area is done, it's not likely to get redone because it's expensive to perform this type of data collection. So that's why there's differing qualities of the 3D data in the flight sim, but generally from about 1,000 feet flying over it, it looks really good. But when you get closer to it, it starts to look like melted buildings. And the reason for that is just the amount of data that you would have to store in order to sharpen that up is beyond our capacity right now. So the other type of scenery that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has available is the new ortho or satellite and autogen technology. And that's where they're taking the AI technology that we have and analyzing these aerial photos and then putting the autogen on top of them. And actually it's starting to look better or rivaling the LiDAR photogrammetry data. And it has the benefit of when you get close to it, it looks good because it's actual 3D asset models that were created for digital simulators or games like this, right? The photogrammetry data, like you're looking at right here, that was not ever intended to be used in video games and seen up close. That, I'm not exactly sure what led to that as far as GIS systems, but the intention that we're using it in Flight Sim was not why it was created. We've just repurposed that data to be able to create what we have here. That's like when everybody said they want to fly over Google Earth. Well, this is what it is. And the whole conversation about saying, oh, just use Google Earth, the data's better. Well, Google and Microsoft are competing companies, so it's never going to happen. However, the popularity of Microsoft Flight Simulator has actually helped put money back into Bing Maps so that we can get better data and improve the sim. It works both ways. I'm really hoping that eventually we kind of do away with the LiDAR data or use it as a base and eventually train the AI to be able to understand both types of data and replace the melty models or the lack of models with good quality 3D models as you get closer to them. That's the ultimate goal. It might take some time for the technology to get there, but this is a really good start, and we've never had this kind of fidelity in a flight sim before. Combine that with the fact that Asobo has actually put in quite a bit of effort to improve the flight model and use CFD, which stands for Computational Fluid Dynamics, to estimate the flight of what's happening with each individual aircraft and control surface as you're flying through the fluid. That also takes a lot of computing data, and it cannot be done super accurately in a timely fashion. Just a side note, I work in engineering and I do some CFD studies or finite analysis studies on individual components, and to run like a really good quality simulation, it takes a long time. I can set up one sim on one part and it might run overnight. You can't get that kind of accuracy in order to work within a flight sim that needs to return you instant response. So things get simplified to the point that the computer can handle it, and that's where we are. So some of the data is extrapolated. It's always going to be a trade-off between accuracy and performance until such time that we improve our methods and improve the hardware performing the calculations to get to that point. We just don't have the technology yet to do it all, to have a super accurate simulation and also a fast response that will give you correct information at the same time. Back to the H225, man, this thing is nice. I really like it. It flies smooth, controlled, it feels heavy. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really appreciating the type of flying that it has brought to helicopters in the sim. It's fast, it's powerful. I cannot wait to use it to do some search and rescue flying and some hoist operations in the sim. I think it's a great addition to the fleet. It's also kind of nice to be able to taxi some of the larger helicopters without having to hover. The sounds are just so good. The lighting model in the new sim is excellent. Everything just looks sharper, more realistic, more clear. It's a definite improvement over the last version of the sim. Here you go, like zooming in on some of these details, like just the fidelity of the modeling and texturing is just so good. There are definitely areas in the sim that need improvement. I have not come across an aircraft that is absolutely perfect, so there's some bugs to smash for sure. But it's a very good start. Things like with the H225 or the shutdown procedure, the animations and sound aren't quite syncing up. The H225 from HPG is very good. It's definitely a reason worth thinking about buying the premium deluxe version of the sim, or at the very least waiting for it to be available to purchase on Marketplace. It's good. Thanks for watching. Be safe, be kind, and I'll see you in the next video.